everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about your temperature forecast throughout the next 6 or so days, and then we're also going to be looking at another big storm system that could be impacting the eastern half of the United States with some heavy rainfall and even some mixed in snow showers. We'll start here with the National Weather Service, looking pretty quiet compared to what we had the past couple of days, where this area especially has been filled with freeze warnings, freeze watches, winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings, winter weather advisories, all that type of stuff. But since that system has moved out into Canada, we don't really have anything, just some flood warnings in effect right along some of those rivers that are in major flood stage or moderate flood stage. Then we'll start from west to east. We have some freeze watches in effect for parts of Northern California and then some higher elevations in Southern California. Then we have our red flag warnings in effect for parts of Wyoming, and then also we have this area in the Ohio Valley. We have this area of freeze watches in those lighter shade of blue, and then that darker shade of blue has your freeze warnings, where temperatures could get down into the 20s in that area with the freeze warning. Now we're gonna look at your temperatures, and we're gonna look at this European model. So this is your your high temperature for today. And you see high temperatures not getting out of the 30s or 40s over parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, northern Iowa, and then Wisconsin and Michigan, at least for the northern part of Michigan. But for the rest of the country, right around the 60 to 70 degree mark. Once you get into the northeast, a bit cooler, into the lower 60s and upper 50s. But then down in the southern tier of the United States, you're down into the 80s and low 90s. Now your low temperatures for tomorrow morning, you see teens over the Dakotas and the Midwest, and then also for much of the United States, we're around 40-50 degrees, except for, again, that southern tier of the U.S., where you're right around 60-70 degrees. Then your high temperatures warms back up on Tuesday, or Monday, and see many areas in around the mid-70s, some areas in the 60s, and then over the northern third of the U.S., you're right around the 50s, and some areas not getting out of the 30s. And then your low temperatures in the 30s and 40s widespread across the northern half of the U.S., and then the southern tier of the U.S. again, right around 70-60 degrees for your low. Your high temperature for Tuesday, 70s widespread, especially upper 70s as you get into the southeast, and then once you get into Florida, Louisiana, Texas, Arizona, California, even some areas of New Mexico, you're in the lower 80s, lower 90s as well. Then your low temperatures for Wednesday morning, they're going to be in the 30s and 40s widespread, especially over the Midwest, and then also stretching into the Northeast, right around 50-40 degrees. Now, low temperatures, as another system moves through, you're going to see a cold front, cold front moving with that. So some warmer air being pushed north as this system sort of moves through the area. And then for Thursday morning, you're going to see widespread 50s all the way down into the southern U.S. And then you see that storm system moving past. It brings warmer air in between it, and then you have some warmer air being stretched north into southern Canada, with those 60s and 70s for a high, but then 50s on either side of that system. So definitely something to watch for. And then your low temperatures. This is where the Northeast really gets chillier, where your temperatures are going to be in the 30s and 20s in some areas. Especially over the Appalachian Mountains, you could definitely be in the 20s for your low temperatures on Friday. And then Saturday, that system continues to move on, and you see those warmer temperatures right in between the system, in between the warm and cold fronts. Now we're going to look at your next big storm system from the European model, and we're going in 6-hour increments, and we'll start off here. You see, we're going to have these two systems merge, so you have an Alberta Clipper type system, not quite with the cold air. You don't really have the cold air, and then you also have this system right near Louisiana. Right now it's just some scattered showers, and this is also just some scattered showers. It is going to move south, and it's going to merge, according to the European model, with this southern component. We don't have enough cold air really to get some snow showers over the over the northern U.S. But if this system does play out, maybe if it was maybe a month or two later, we would definitely be seeing some snow showers from this. But it's gonna look like pretty much an all rain event. Some snow showers in the Dakotas and parts of Minnesota as well. Now, as we continue to move on, you see those snow showers moving in. You do see that system move throughout the Great Plains, and then that southern component down over the southeast. You're seeing just some scattered showers, not really an organized system yet, but it really gets going as you get into Wednesday, and then into Thursday it starts to merge. The European model has this merging together, these two systems merging together to make one big storm system. But the GFS model, which we are going to look at later, it has this a low pressure down here and a low pressure down here, and eventually this low pressure will win out and kind of take over this low pressure. But they're going to stay as two separate low pressures, so it's not going to be as intense as if you had just one major low pressure. And now as we move on a little bit, you see those heavy showers moving into the New York City area, and just some rain showers for Boston, but then those heavier bands move into New England, and then really heavy rainfall over Boston, New Hampshire, Maine, and then it kind of moves out into Canada, and it turns into some snow showers as you get a bit north into Canada. Now here's your rainfall totals, and we're going to actually zoom in here on the Midwest or the Great Lakes. See about a tenth of an inch to a half an inch in those greens. If you're in a blue, you're about half an inch to 1 inch, and then 1 to 2 inches in those yellows, and then 2 to 5 inches in those reds. And if you do get in those browns or whites, that's about 5+ inches. So we're gonna look over the we'll go back over the Great Lakes. You're seeing generally around a half an inch, maybe some areas getting over an inch. Now, as we go to the southeast, this is where you're getting a lot of rainfall. Some areas getting over 5 inches, especially over parts of Alabama and Georgia. But then also into Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Really, the Gulf states are really getting pummeled with all this moisture. And then as we zoom in to the northeast, you're seeing a lot of rainfall, especially over New Hampshire, Vermont, New England basically is getting a lot of rainfall. Even into upstate New York and Long Island. New Jersey and Pennsylvania are really going to stay out of this system. Maybe a half an inch to an inch at most. Now, your GFS model, we're going to look at the simulated radar, and we see how these two systems, we started off 48 hours out, by the way, so this would be for Tuesday morning. See this system up here, the Alberta Clipper type system, and then this unorganized area of showers, going to move north, but what the GFS model has this doing is staying kind of south. This system is going to stay more south and going to end up right here, while this system is going to stay to the north and pretty much stay in Canada. So these areas are going to get some lighter showers, not as intense. Definitely still some intense showers, but not really as intense as it would have been with the European model, showing all those heavy downpours because that system merged together. So as we continue to play this through, you see how we're seeing those showers move up the coast, but you see this little center of low pressure, and these lines are lines of equal pressure, and what we see is a little closed off circle, and that's representing where the low pressure is. And you see the low pressure is right over parts of Quebec, Canada, and then also off the coast of Virginia and North Carolina. So there's two separate systems, lighter showers in between the systems, but then heavier showers down where the system, right around the system. And so now as we move this on a little bit, you're going to be seeing how it moves off. But if we move back a little bit, you see how it never really merged together. You still see those two areas of low pressure, even though the L isn't displayed anymore. You still see that little circle that represents a low pressure, and then there's this low pressure down here. So they never really merge until they actually get into southeastern Canada, where they kind of merge into this bigger system and just leave some showers over parts of northern New England. Now, we're going to look at your rainfall totals from the GFS. We zoom in here on the Great Lakes, and you see right around half an inch to 2 inches in those blues, 2 to 6 inches in those purples, and then if you do get into those reds or oranges or even golds, that's 6+ inches of rainfall. So you're seeing generally right around half an inch of rainfall over the Great Lakes. Now, as we move into the southeastern United States, we're going to be seeing right around 2 to maybe 5 inches. Some areas seeing, isolated areas seeing around 6 inches plus of rainfall, as the showers really stay over that area for a long period of time. And then over the northeast, not as much rainfall is being shown by the GFS model, as you see the low pressure was right around here, and then the other low pressure was up here. So this center area wasn't really getting a lot of rainfall. As you saw in the other models, you're seeing 4 or 5 inches, especially over this area of New England, but you're not really seeing that anymore because this area isn't seeing as heavy of showers. So if this does play out, you're going to be seeing some weaker storms move through this area, but there's some stronger storms as you get closer to the Great Lakes and into Canada, and then stronger storms as you get into North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, that area. If you did enjoy that video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. Please also turn on post notifications. It's that little bell icon, and if you turn it on and you click all, you'll get all the notifications every time I upload a video, and that would greatly help the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Anyways, thanks for watching that video, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.